it. Oh, wow, what a shot. That's going to be it, people.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Pool Dog Arena in Las Vegas for continuing coverage of this year's APA Pool Player Championships. I'm your host, Jason Bowman, and I am joined by the Hall of Fame legend, Ava Lawrence. Ava, we crowned 5 champions yesterday, and this afternoon, the Wheelchair Championship takes center stage here in Pool Dog Arena.
Yes, and you're going to see a familiar face here. If you have ever watched an APA stream or ESPN or ESPN2 for that matter that included the Wheelchair Championship, you would be familiar with one of our players, Charlie Hans, been here before, probably won as many champions as many of the top able-bodied players in the world. So Arthur's going to have his work cut out for him today.
So before we officially meet our finalists in the Wheelchair Championship, let's give you a quick breakdown of some of the key rules here. Of course, APA rules will apply. Now, in general, these players in this event are confined to a wheelchair. This is individual competition, so no coaching is allowed, and matches are played according to the APA Wheelchair Championship race chart. Now we'll meet our championship finalists. First, from Cantonment, Florida, Arthur Stromberg. And as Ava mentioned, he's going against the defending champion from Harrison, Ohio, Charlie Hans. Arthur and Charlie will be competing for $2,000 in this afternoon's match. The runner-up will take home $1,200. Arthur is a skill level 5. Charlie is a skill level 7. So we'll be looking at a 3-5 race. The players are ready to get started. Let's take you down into Pool Dog Arena for the start of the Wheelchair Championship. Our referee here this afternoon, Terry White from Alabama. Players will lag here for the break. Good look at Pool Dog Arena from overhead. And Arthur will win the lag. He will have the break in the first rack. Arthur wanted to make sure we gave a shout out to his mom and his brother. He said, "I love y'all."
I'm sure they're loving watching from home if they're not here with him today.
Yeah, Cantonment, Florida. I had not heard of it, but it's near Pensacola, Arthur told me. So if you're wondering where Cantonment is, right there in the Florida Panhandle.
Arthur looks dead on focused.
He does.
His intro photo, too, as we were introducing players, you'll see that, and just dead on. He wants
playing with a little edge.
Take the title from Charlie here. Solid break.
It's the one to drop on the break.
And conveniently, the 2 lands right there. So a little bit of a mess for him here, especially here with the 6 and 7 that are tied up on the rail, blocked by the 9. Other than that, it looks pretty good if he can deal with that one. We had our semifinal match run a little bit late. Sometimes it gets a little bit later, a little bit more. The semifinal of the match that Charlie won right before this went almost down to the wire. So both players are ready and warmed up. This is what, our 3rd event so far? Our 3rd out of...
Yes.
Out of what did we say?
I don't know. Do we count yesterday as 1 or 5 events?
Well, you got to count it
We
as
had
one.
5
don't you?
different
It's-
tiers yesterday,
yeah.
but that was all 8-ball classic. So, yes, this would be the third division to be decided, and it's a doubleheader today because we have the Jack and Jill Doubles Championship this evening. That'll be at 5 p.m. Pacific time back here in Pool Dog Arena. Another doubleheader tomorrow.
We still have ladies and masters and 8-ball doubles being played in the main tournament rooms. And then we have 9-ball doubles starting tomorrow. 9-ball singles.
Does it start? Hasn't started yet?
I believe it
tomorrow,
starts
huh?
tomorrow.
The action just keeps on going
I know
here
it,
in
right?
Las Vegas. Can't stop, won't stop.
Especially with all the events that were moved from August
Yeah.
to here. It seems like I
really
looked at the
changed.
schedule and I'm going, wow, there's...
There used to be a 4-day event.
Yeah.
That was it.
And as a league operator, too, I like to watch all my players play, but I'm missing a lot of them now because we have so many of these matches where we're doing commentary.
Yeah.
So
Well, with so many matches still to be decided, make sure you've liked or you're following our Facebook page or you've subscribed to our YouTube channel. That way you'll get notifications when these matches go live. Even if we're delayed or...
Charlie is here with his mom. She always comes with. She's a trooper. She
One
loves it.
dedicated mother right there.
Unbelievable. You bet.
Had several players, or people, not players, ask me how many times Charlie has won this event, and my honest answer at this point is I'm not sure. It's too many. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's over 10, though.
Oh, it's definitely over 10. We'll have to check with Charlie.
Yeah.
Actually, let's check with Charlie's mom. I
Yeah,
think she
she's-
knows better. Last time I asked Charlie was a few years ago. He goes, I don't know.
Yeah, they start to blend together for him. But he has certainly been a fixture here in the championship round for many years.
And part of what I love, besides obviously the game itself, I love his demeanor at the table. He doesn't, shake his head and whine a little bit if he doesn't make it, or he just turns around and, gets away from the table and next play. You don't see any whiny emotions out of him, that's for sure. He just kind of does his thing. Very solid at the table.
He's about to take a 1-0 lead if he can pocket this 8-ball in the corner. And Charlie Hans is on the board first, leads 1-0 in what is a race to 5 for him. And he will have the break when we return in just a moment. All right, folks, welcome back to Pool Dog Arena for continuing coverage of the APA Wheelchair Championships. Our coverage brought to you by our good friends at pooldog.com. Charlie Hans at the table, preparing to break, leading 1-0. Charlie needs 4 more wins to Arthur's 3.
Not
Dry
a,
break there for Charlie.
yeah, not a lot of action there. A lot of times when you hit that side break, you're going to see a cluster of balls on one side of the table, and other than the 7 ball, I do think we see that here. The straight on break, less chance for the 8 ball to go, but a lot better chance to have more action on the balls to have a chance to go. See what Arthur can come up with here to answer Charlie's great run out he had there. I let the cue ball go a little bit more than he wanted to.
I know there are years that Charlie's been here where he did not win the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall, though, him ever making it to the championship match and losing.
Not that I
you?
remember,
Yeah,
no.
I don't recall that, but
Somebody could point something out to us
which is
there
pretty
maybe, but
remarkable.
no.
I mean,
Yeah.
as many times as he's done it, you would.
He's just a TV hog.
Very
That's what it is.
Well, he's consistent. He's consistent. That's
He shines when the cameras are on. And to be honest, it's not very often we have not seen him in the finals to begin with. So
yeah, just a couple years. I think there was one year where he maybe he was hill and he had an 8 on the break but scratched. That's how he lost.
Gotcha. I don't remember that.
I think that was what knocked him out.
And I believe one year he wasn't here. I don't
Could
know if he
be.
had health issue or just couldn't make it, but all right, trying to find a shot here after the 15 is going to be a bit of a challenge. May be able to get over to make the 13 ball is about the only shot I can see that he has right here. Nice. Yeah, it is pretty funny too with Charlie that you walk through the hall and you said it, you know. I said I've got it doing commentary for the wheelchair event, and everybody goes, "Is Charlie in it? Did Charlie make the finals?" Bit of a legend around here. All right, he's just a tad out of line there. This would have been the perfect position for the cue ball, but he does have the 10. That will help out a little bit. He makes this 10 ball come across for probably for the 13. Yeah. And all Arthur can do is watch at this point. One little miss, and Charlie was able to solve this rack if he can make the last 2 balls left on the table. Look, he makes it look so simple, doesn't he?
Just remarkably consistent.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know at one point you were talking about the fact that the players aren't robots, so sometimes they miss shots. But I feel like with Charlie, it's almost
he
like a
plays
robot. He rarely
Yeah.
ever misses.
a shot or position for
Yeah,
that matter. I mean, just very steady, which, you know, is what 7s tend to do. But he just makes the game simple on himself. He's been playing a very long time and been a studier of the game. And that's what it takes to make it easy on yourself to do just what he's doing here.
And he
Running
nails
out.
another one, no problem. Pockets that 8 in the corner, takes a 2-0 lead in this race to 5. And he will have the break once again when we return in just a few moments. Welcome back to Pool Dog Arena in Las Vegas, continuing coverage of the APA Wheelchair Championships. Charlie Hans at the table leading 2-0. Needs 3 more games now to win the championship. The $2,000 payday that goes with it.
And Art's hoping for some kind of opening here to show off just why he made it to the spot in the 64-person field. Just got to wait for a chance and then hope that no unforced errors happen. So now he's looking at, he needs this stripes. And again, it's looking pretty open. Charlie's looking to come up with his path here, but as you can tell, there's nothing really tied up. 14 ball goes in the side, 10 ball goes in the side, 12 is open, so the only thing Art can hope for here is that Charlie makes a mistake somewhere along the line here.
And that'll bring Arthur back to the table. Arthur's been playing pool for 20 years. His dad got him playing. And he said he did not expect to get here this far. You got one player here that didn't expect to be here and the other that probably fully expected to be here.
And it's interesting when you don't expect it. It's usually when you can loosen up enough to play your game and not worry about.
Well, who knows? He's only been playing APA for a year. Maybe he's never heard of Charlie Hans. That might be the best thing, you know? Like, I don't know this guy from anybody else.
Oh, just overcut that a little bit. Kind of looked like he rushed his stroke a little. One thing you want to do is try to come to a stop at address. A little bit extra. Make sure your eyes are where they need to be. So not the worst thing can happen is your eyes when you're getting ready to shoot is between the cue ball and object ball. So just a little hesitation. Make sure all systems are checked. And I think a lot of times when you get nervous especially is where people tend to rush that stroke a little bit. Good touch. Well, Charlie's making work of this rack. I do think a little shout out and appreciation to all our referees and you know, league operators, everybody that's been out here helping out.
Yeah.
Helping the staff.
I think we got over 100 volunteers
that
are out here.
Yeah.
Referees, league operators that help as staff or
any great event, you're going to need a lot
observers.
of, with this many people here, all these players, all these teams. Takes a village. All right. The referee, Terry White's going to take an extra look here. Obviously, if the 8-ball moves, there's trouble. So it should be a clean hit. I don't know if he could even made that one. So, but if he could, missed it pretty good. So advantage Arthur. He's got some issues to deal with, though. 5-7, 3-4. Are tied up. You can see there the 3 is going the wrong way. That's a good defensive shot. Well played. Again, the advantage for Arthur is that Charlie has only 2 balls to shoot at, while Art can go ahead and toy with him a little bit. Hope for ball in hand, maybe, so he can start clearing up this table and these messes.
Watch out. Scratches in the corner pocket. Ball in hand now for Arthur.
Yeah, this table plays a little long. The cloth is tightened up a little bit, but it's going to be slidey. The rails are going to go long, especially since a little play that this table has had compared to in the big room.
That graphic say 326 diamond tables here this year,
It's incredible.
including this beautiful white diamond in Pool Dog Arena. Diamond, one of our sponsors, along with Action Cues, Aramith Balls, and our newest sponsor, Kamui Tips. Appreciate all their support. Charlie back to the table now.
Charlie's going to try to kick this 14 ball in. Oh, again,
Watch
it goes
out.
long. You got to really shorten it up.
Back-to-back scratches there for Charlie, not something we're used to seeing.
No.
Another opportunity for ball in hand, Arthur.
APA, we do not play the 3 fouls ball in hand rule. I mean, loss of game rules, so you have to stay playing the game. Arthur is just trying to improve the position of the solids little by little. And here Charlie goes again, trying the same shot. 14 ball still goes, barely, but it still goes. No, it goes long again. Every single kick he's had goes long, so he's got to shorten that up a little bit.
So no scratch, but also does not make contact with his object ball. So ball in hand once again for Arthur.
All right, it's finally an opening with a clear shot for Charlie.
If you're just joining us, you're watching coverage of the APA Wheelchair Championship here in Pool Dog Arena in Las Vegas. Defending champion Charlie Hans currently at the table.
All right, give himself a chance here. This tough shot here without having to use a bridge. thin cut, and he's got to hit this firm. I was going to say to be able to go up and down, considering that the 3 and 5 look like they have the pocket blocked. All right. Your time to shine here, Arthur. You had 64 players playing in this event.
$64 down to the final 2.
Gonna be a little tricky here. I don't know that I wouldn't shoot the 6 first, then the 7 to try to break up the 5. I'm not sure there's enough room to squeeze it by the 12. It's going to be close. Another option, I guess, to roll down all the way down to the end of the table and shoot the bank shot on the 5. And better yet, go ahead and snooker him. A lot of different options for him to do here. None of them great. Kick it at the end rail to try to make it. Tough. Give a ball in hand and let him deal with that 5 ball if it doesn't go. Not your favorite choice. If he kicks behind it for the easy hit, if it comes this way, still have the 5 and the 6. So there he blocked good in the perfect speed. That is so good, because that is the one place that he could clearly make the 5 ball, and he just stopped that from happening. So perfect speed, just roll up, stop that option. Well, actually, he might be able to, if he can avoid a double hit, making the 5-6 combo. Referee's going to take a look here, see what he's going to do. Playing the billiard, maybe? Oh, it's got to hurry.
Not enough.
No, but it did get the defensive shot, though, so. Patience.
Still a few defensive shots away from matching the record set yesterday in that orange tier, I think, though.
That was pretty impressive.
That was that's one way to describe it. It's a safe way to describe it.
Well, it was interesting because I don't think I've ever seen 2 players that had the same style that would just refuse to go for it, which is not really a bad idea until you can feel that there's a way to run all the way out, because they were both 6s, but there were a lot of times they had a chance to kind of break something open, but unless it was guaranteed, they weren't going to go. So I don't know if you guys saw that yesterday, but it was like about a 2-hour match, and there wasn't really slow play. It was just, 56 defensive shots or something
like
crazy.
That. It was crazy, yeah.
They were fighting hard. They were neither one of them were just going to let down. That's for sure.
That time,
All right.
did not quite get it again.
No, but he did leave a tough bank here for Charlie, and it's kind of a must make. Not kinda, it is a must make, considering where the 6 and 5 are. These banks are tough to judge. If the 8 ball was up about another 3 inches, it would be pretty easy, but. And
No
yeah,
problem
no
for
problem.
Charlie Hans.
Charlie.
Banks the 8 in the side, takes a 3-0 lead in this race to 5, and he will have the break once again when we return in a few moments. Welcome back to Pool Dog Arena in Las Vegas, continuing coverage of the APA Wheelchair Championship. And so far, Ava, defending champ Charlie Hans is living up to his reputation. Up 3-0, needs 2 more games.
Art played a smart rack there, but he was just overcome there by Charlie at the end. Left him that challenging bank shot on the 8 and a side, and he just drained it center pocket. So table opened up nicely here. Charlie's got the stripes. And one thing that I like that Charlie does is you rarely see him, when the table is open, you rarely see him commit the cardinal sin, which is go into the balls. Because when they're all open, your odds are if you start going into balls, all of a sudden you mess out the most beautiful run out. Yeah. We wanted to get away from that a little bit more. It's pretty close. Beauty on this shot, just a little tap, and he's got the 14 right there. Come down for the 11.
Some folks that Charlie wanted to give a shout out to back home: Ernie and Laura, Jeff, Tamara, and Pam. And his sponsors, KQ, Mutt's Maid Bar, and all his friends back in Ohio.
That's a perfect angle for him to come up on the 15 ball. Absolutely perfect. There's one challenging shot left for Charlie here to finish this rack, and that is to get just right on this 15, but he's left himself the great angle to do so. Yeah. First little blink there by Charlie. Came up short. Makeable 15, but not as automatic on position on the 8 here. He's going to have to do some work left. Certainly doesn't want to run into the 8, being that it's sitting in front of the side. I wonder if he's going to bank it. No, coming around. And
Man.
came up smelling like a rose on that one, even though it did hit the 3. He's
Chance
just on fire. This is about as good as I've ever
it's-
seen Charlie play, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I mean, it's something special to just watch him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty remarkable.
I mean, he always plays well. Don't get me wrong, but this particular match, it's made too many mistakes, that's for sure.
Charlie pockets the 8 ball, and he is now on the hill, folks, leading 4-0. Needs just one more game, and he'll have the break when we return in just a moment. And welcome back to Pool Dog Arena in Las Vegas for the Charlie Hans Show, a.k.a. the APA Wheelchair Championship, where defending champion Charlie Hans is putting on a clinic.
He's
Very
proving why
impressive.
he's a 7. He could have won the skill level 7 black tier. The way he's
8 ball
playing
moving.
today.
Oof. Narrowly put it away right there, but otherwise it's a dry break and an opportunity now
All right, Art.
for Arthur. Getting a little late in the match, and I mean Arthur really hasn't had
Hasn't-
much opportunity.
no.
I don't.
He hasn't made too many mistakes. He missed a couple of balls, but I mean,
Safety battle in the 3rd rack,
Yeah.
but other than that, he has not had many opportunities.
now when you're playing somebody that's on like that, and things kind of go their way, and the table opens up, you know what? You back and
Kind of nod your
just watch.
Yeah.
You know, just appreciate your
tip your cap
opponents.
to them.
It's easy to say, but you might as well do that instead of sitting there getting frustrated in case you do get a shot. We'll see now what Art can come up with here. Needless to say, it being down 4-0, Charlie on the hill. It's got to happen now. Got a line there.
Just a reminder, we will have the finals of the Jack and Jill Doubles Championship this evening. That'll be 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. I always love the doubles, the alternate shot format.
Me too. I agree. I usually say, you know, I watch when in Coastal Carolina, we have our league there. And whenever we run a doubles or a Jack and Jill event or anything, I always say, always tends to be the ones that have more fun together. They just kind of super support each other, enjoy it. And obviously your games have to kind of mesh a little bit as well, but the support is like in any APA match though. If your team has fun, don't get too serious when it comes down to playing the championship, because fun is what you got. You're there.
Mhm.
So keep that going, but get too uptight, start shaking your head in the other your teammate kind of sees that you just shook your head, that usually ends your run right there. It's all about partnership. All right, that was a tough order there, tall order, and we'll see now if Charlie can do what Charlie does here in this match. That's what his plans are anyway.
Looking ahead to tomorrow, we've got the ladies championship, ladies 8-ball. That'll be at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and then another doubleheader tomorrow, Ava. 8-ball doubles at 5 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. So get your rest tonight. These ladies 8-ball matches sometimes can take a bit.
Well, anytime, the 8-ball does take longer than 9-ball. There's no question about that. And then Masters the following day.
Yeah.
That's the only thing is the Masters.
Masters on Friday, 1 p.m.
And then
9-ball shootout caps it off on Saturday. 4 tiers. We got a lot still to be decided. A big chunk of that almost $1 million prize fund that still has to be paid out here in Vegas.
Yep.
Charlie Hans trying to get a piece of it here.
He's looking at this combo, 3-5. That worked out nicely. And we'll see now what he decides to do. Does he go, that 2-ball is sitting in a, it's not too bad of a spot. I mean, it's open if you get towards just past the center of the table, but chooses to get this 4-ball out of here first. You see a little bit of a reaction on his face, the fact that he landed right on the rail. The fact that you can't do much with a cue ball other than follow it right or left. He's going to shoot this, come out for the 2, I would think. And being seated too, sometimes they will play a different pattern than you would if you're not, because so be able to reach and not having to use the bridge. And
yeah.
So it's another layer that they have to consider.
Pockets the 2 in the
See
corner.
what I mean? How he just
Yeah.
makes it look so calm, so simple. It's shooting every shot like it's just, I don't know. It looks like he's getting some milk out of the fridge or something. It's not, there's no.
Yeah, he's about to put this match
Just-
away.
yeah, it's,
only the 8-ball remains, and
Huge congrats to Art for what he has accomplished here. But you got to give it to this guy. Holy smokes, Charlie. You rock.
Charlie Hans pockets that final 8-ball, and he's adding another championship trophy to the trophy room back in Ohio, folks. Your 2025 wheelchair champion, Charlie Hans.
Congratulations on winning the 2025 Wheelchair Championships. Tell me, how are you feeling about winning this? How many times now?
15, I'm pretty sure.
That's a lot of times being here.
Yeah. I really like this table.
So, what is your drive to keep coming to this event and keep playing in this event?
I keep winning.
Did
But it does get tougher every year. I had a few matches go hill.
the semifinals, right?
Yeah, and 2 before that.
And 2 before that?
Yeah.
That's some tough matches, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Did you have anything that you wanted to say to anybody? And I'm sure you have an audience here for you.
Yeah, I had a lot of friends here. Thank them for coming. Thank you.
Anything else? If you were to give any advice to anybody, what would you give them?
I'd just keep practicing.
Well, again, I'm going to say congratulations, and I'm going to pass this to Ava and Jason.
Thank you.
There's Charlie.
When you got a championship resume like that, there's not a whole lot you need to say. And so congratulations to Charlie Hansi again as your 2025 wheelchair champion. He's taking home that $2,000 payout. And, folks, we appreciate you tuning in today for our coverage of the Wheelchair Championship. Again, all part of our coverage of the APA Pool Player Championships. And we'll be back at 5 p.m. Pacific time this evening with our Jack and Jill Doubles Championship. Make sure you come back and join us then. Thanks for tuning in.